Rain and Moon Tarot ASMR. Hello there. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Here we do tarot readings for the collective, and today's reading is going to be a little bit different than usual. We won't be looking at any particular situations or seeking advice, although hopefully we will find some wisdom. Today's reading will be a tarot meditation on joy. And it's interesting because I've done a lot of readings kind of looking for points of weakness where we can improve and find strength. And that's well and good and beautiful, but sometimes I think we tarot readers forget to tune in to the really lovely stuff in life. And joy is really complicated, isn't it? Because on the face of it, we all say, yes, joy, beautiful, good, give me more of it. But at the same time, we can often run from it or minimize it when it does actually happen. When we do actually feel joy, sometimes we don't fully connect with that feeling for many different reasons. And so, yeah, I just wanted to draw some cards around it and see what might come up. How we can more fully tune into joy when it shows up on our doorstep and asks to be invited in. Now, I have a few stones that I thought might be helpful for this reading today. And the first is this piece of apophyllite and stilbite. And apophyllite is one of the best stones for really strengthening our spiritual connection. And I thought that that was very appropriate because what is joy but connection? Connecting to something within ourselves, connecting in a way that is true and authentic to those we love, maybe even something wonderful that's happened in their life that we feel joy over because we love and care about them. If it's an experience that is bringing us joy, that is connection. And I think at the root of joy is this beautiful, heartfelt experience of not being alone, not being separate. So that's a populite, and it does have this small piece of stilbite in there as well. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but that peachy bit, that's stilbite, and I find it to be amazing for a really heart-centered inner peace. The kind of peace that joy can bring us. Look at that sparkle. That sparkle makes me joyful. Next, we have flower agate. And I wanted to bring this one in because, firstly, it is so beautiful, and there is so much joy to be found in beauty. But also, when we think of real flowers, they bloom for such a short amount of time. And part of their aching beauty is in that fact that we know we can only experience their beauty so briefly. And joy is the same. And this stone really reminds me to be fully present for it when it does burst from within us. Because it's fleeting, but we do know it will always come back, just as new flowers will bloom. So that's flower agate. I also brought in some tiger's eye. This is a raw piece, and it really speaks to me of the bravery that is required to pursue joy, to feel joy. I think sometimes feeling beautiful, wonderful things can be even scarier than feeling the dark stuff. Maybe that's just me, but it always feels like if I fully give myself over to joy, that's a really good way to get my heart broken. Because, of course, in my mind, the other shoe is just waiting to drop. So, if joy scares you in any way, this tiger's eye can help us to connect with the bravery it takes to feel it anyway. And lastly, I have this piece of smoky citrine. And citrine on its own has this gorgeous, sunny, joyful, abundant energy. And with the smokiness in there, which is all about grounding, it can help us to really, really feel into and embody the joy that is available to us. So, smoky citrine, and as always, I am going to light some incense for us, and I chose this patchouli incense for a few different reasons. Mostly for its wonderfully sensual energy. Again, for that real embodiment, that real sensory pleasure, and also because there is quite a bit of wrapping around this incense, and I thought it would be fun, again, for that sensory experience to experience some nice tingles, if that does happen for you. So, patchouli incense. And lastly, before we get started, I'm going to light a candle and set an intention for this session. This is a little cranberry scented tea light, and yeah, I really wanted this to be as sensory an experience as possible. For me, cranberry reminds me of the holidays, and I am privileged to associate that time with a lot of joy. If that doesn't resonate for you, maybe you associate cranberry with something else, or maybe you just like the scent. So let's light our candle and set our intention. So, on behalf of your highest and greatest well-being, and the highest and greatest well-being of all, we call upon sacred, benevolent guidance within us and without that is in perfect alignment for this tarot reading. May this reading be conducted only in our highest and greatest good. May our hearts be open May our sight be clear. May our souls and the soul of all of creation be a guiding light in the darkness. This we make true, and so it is. Just going to move everything to the side. Sorry, there's a lot of noise happening outside right now. We can take it as a reminder that life is everywhere. Okay, we're using the Sasuraibito Tarot today, and I chose this deck because it's just gorgeously cheerful and beautiful. Has a slightly anime aesthetic to it, and I just thought of watching cartoons as a kid and how joyful an experience that was. So let's take it out of the box. It's also the travel-sized one, and it is just so cute. Look at that. With my tiny hands. It's awesome for shuffling too. So we are going to pull 6 cards, and like I said, this isn't a typical reading, it's more of a meditation. The first card we're going to pull will be around the prompt. Joy is available. Joy is abundantly available to me in every moment. The next card will be around the prompt. It is the song my heart sings. Then it is the call that urges me forward. Next, it lives in the grief that I hold for this world. Next prompt will be, it is my birthright. And lastly, I'm having a blank moment. And lastly, nothing can take it from me. Alright, let's shuffle one more time and pull our cards. Joy is available to me in every moment. It is the song my heart sings. It is the call that urges me forward. It lives in the grief that I hold for this world. It is my birthright, and nothing can take it from me. for prompt number 1, we have the Four of Cups. Joy can be abundantly available to us if we give ourselves the space to feel it. The Four of Cups is about emotional processing, and it reminds us that sometimes it's okay not to be chasing the next thing and the next, especially if we are chasing joy in outside experiences. Are we actually enjoying it when it is available to us? Are we actually letting ourselves process enough to really sink into the joy that is right here and right now? Joy is available to us in every moment, but if we are not present with that moment, then we cannot be present for joy. Let yourselves feel it, dear hearts. Let yourself sit with it, digest it. Let it change you from the inside out. Don't go chasing that next cup. Be with the cup that is right here. That is how you will find joy to be abundant in your life. Joy is the song your heart sings. And we have the Three of Cups. This really speaks to what I was saying about joy being connection. And the joy shared is multiplied infinitely. As we said, if we let ourselves actually process and be present for joy, it will be an experience that is always available to us. And this is where to look for it. In your connections to your friends and your family, but even in moments of small but important connection to complete and utter strangers sometimes. That person who gives up their seat for you on the subway. That person who lets you go in front of them in the line when you both arrive at the same time. Connection is how we experience ourselves and others. The Three of Cups reminds us that we are not alone. And that is what your heart truly desires, to not be alone. I think a lot of people seem to think that the human experience is isolation. And it is something we feel very often. But I don't know if that's the human experience. I wonder if that's the human experience informed by the society in which we live. The society is meant to keep us separate, to rob us of connection. We hoard resources. We compete with each other. We judge our success based on how well we are doing compared to others. And all of this is learned. At the heart of it, the song that our heart wants so badly to sing is love. Is love, dear hearts. It is the call that urges me forward. And here we have the Star and the King of Swords. The King of Swords has a truth to share with the world. That truth is rooted in faith. Faith, the joy and love are the way forward. The joy and love are the same energy. The King of Swords knows how loved and supported they are, and that king wants to share that beautiful, aching truth with the world. When we show up from a place of love, when we show up for the pure joy of serving, of helping, then we are fully connected. We are fully present. The king cannot do this alone. They need support, and they need a guiding light, something, a north star, if you will, to keep them moving forward. Maybe, just maybe, you can cultivate the faith that you will feel joy, that you absolutely can live a joyful life, not one that has no suffering in it. Joy does not mean, being joyful does not mean that things are never hard, that we never suffer, that we'll never experience trauma. It simply means that alongside those things, we will also experience deep, deep pleasure, moments of pure happiness, moments of deep connection, and those moments will make it worth all of the hard things that we have gone through. There is a poem by Mary Oliver in which she talks about how hard life is, how mean, how cruel we can be to each other, to this earth. And yet, she says, and yet there are moments of joy. Well, she didn't say exactly that, I'm paraphrasing. But the last line of the poem is, joy is not made to be a crumb. It is made to be a moment of grace. Cultivate that faith, dear heart, and notice how, when you do, all you want to do is share that with others so that they too can experience a joyful life. Now, the next prompt is, joy lives in the grief that I hold for this world. And here we have the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands is a card of conflict. And in this position, I think it is here to remind us that there can be joy in conflict. That sometimes we have to fight from a place of love. Joy doesn't mean that everything is perfect. In fact, it means that we love this world enough to fight for it. We love this world enough to get loud and messy and to create change through chaos and friction. Joy is in the nitty-gritty of it all. It is not, pardon me for saying this, high vibes only. There is great joy to be found in letting ourselves be a hot mess, as it were. Conflict creates friction, and friction creates energy. Feeling joy, even through the grief, reminds us of how much we love and fuels us to create change. Now we have the Four of Wands. For joy is our birthright. And the Four of Wands to me is the ultimate card of joy. It is our birthright to create space for joy in our lives, to create boundaries around it, not to keep it in, but to keep out what would rob us of our joy. Not that anything truly can, but still, we are allowed to fiercely protect our joy. We are allowed to stand up for it and to say, I prioritize joy in my life. I deliberately create space in my life to feel joy, love, connection. And the Four of Wands is especially about play and about connection. It is about connecting to others through our passions, through our desires and our interests. This is your birthright, to feel joy. If it feels like, who are you to prioritize fun and play and happiness? The Four of Wands says, who are you not to? This world, it needs your joy. Joy shows us how much we care. And when we care, that is when we are the strongest. And our last card, nothing can take my joy from me. We have the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords has a center of truth that runs deep, deep within her, within them, from the crown of their head down, 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 deep into the earth. The Queen of Swords knows the truth, and even when they are thrown from it, they have the wisdom to return to it time and time again, because nothing can separate them from the truth of their heart, from the truth of their very soul. Joy is the truth that is at the very center of you. and it will survive beyond this lifetime because it is the truth of your soul. You cannot be separated from your joy. Even if you lose connection to it for a moment, or even many moments, it is always there for you to return to. And the knowledge of how to return to it is written in your very DNA. It lives in your blood and in your bones. No one needs to teach it to you, although others can help to remind you of it. You and your joy are one. You and your joy are one. Okay, dear hearts, that was the reading for today. I, as always, hope that it was even a little bit helpful for you. Maybe something in here resonated that you can carry forward. As always, this was a collective reading, so if anything really doesn't resonate for you, please feel free to leave it right here. I very much hope that if you did enjoy this video, that you like, comment, subscribe. When if you are subscribed or plan to, please hit the notification bell so that you'll know when I post a new video. Sorry this one was a long time coming. I was dealing with some health issues, but I hope to return to a once a week schedule, but please be a little gracious with me. I'm not completely recovered yet, so I don't know exactly what my posting schedule will look like. And lastly, if you desire a personal individual reading with me, my website will be linked in the description box below. Thanks for hearing all this out. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful night.